Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine the klaxon blaring across an airbase, a war drum splitting the silence. Coffee spills mid-sip, boots hit the ground running, and the voice of command roars through the ready rooms. Unidentified aircraft in restricted airspace. No transponder. Possible threat. Scramble, scramble, scramble. That's how it began for me, Captain Eli Ridge Carter, on a fading Pacific evening 3 years after I thought I'd lost her forever. This is the story of a ghost who returned, a truth too heavy to bury, and a sky that nearly burned us all. Let me take you back to that moment. My F-22 Raptor was prepped, engines humming, crew scattering like shadows as I sprinted to the cockpit. My wingman, Lieutenant Mason, Frey Mills, was a step behind, checking his weapons mid-jog. 90 seconds later, we were airborne, slicing through the twilight at Mach 1.7, chasing a bogey that didn't belong. High, fast, erratic, dipping and climbing like it was flown by instinct, not protocol. No transponder, no response to hails, just a dark, angular shape against a golden horizon. It wasn't commercial. It wasn't ours, Russian, Chinese, or something worse. Something with no nation behind it. Command patch through. Engage for visual confirmation. Hold fire until authorized. My HUD lit up, and there it was, a sleek, unmarked jet, possibly stealth, patched together like it had clawed its way out of hell. We hailed it again. This is the United States Air Force. Identify yourself or be considered hostile. Silence. My thumb hovered over the master arm switch. Protocol was clear, no reply, no deviation. Hostile classification. I had tone. Frey had tone. The computer didn't care about questions. It cared about targets. And then a voice broke through. Faint. Female. Calm. This is Shadow Hawk. Shadow Hawk. That name hit me like a missile. I knew that voice. Lieutenant Caravas, elite pilot, classified ops, lost over Belarus 3 years ago. No wreckage, no signals, presumed KIA. She was more than a wingman. She was the one who never broke, who could outfly anyone in any machine. Brilliant. Fierce. Mythic. We'd flown together, trusted each other with our lives. I'd mourned her, stood at her funeral, watched her parents fold a flag over an empty box. And now, her voice was in my headset, alive, in a jet that shouldn't exist. Say again, I whispered, my heart pounding louder than the turbines. Ridge, it's me, Shadow Hawk. Don't engage. Command demanded confirmation. I could hear the disbelief in their static-laced voices. Did you say Shadow Hawk? I didn't answer. My mind was spiraling. Was this a trick? A deep fake? But then she spoke again, over a secure line. A phrase no imposter could know. If I burn forward. She'd whispered it years ago, over comms in Sevo, when we thought we were done. She laughed afterward like death was just a bad day. That was Kara. That was Shadow Hawk. Her jet was a wreck. Burn marks, patched panels, holes in the tail. It wasn't standard issue. It was scavenged, stolen, alive by sheer will. I told Frey to stand down. He hesitated. You disobeying orders. But he backed off, circling wide. Command was furious. Sword 1. You're breaching protocol. I cut the channel. I opened a private line to her. Shadow Hawk, what the hell are you doing here? Her reply was low, controlled, not in the air. I'm heading to Groom Lake. Escort me in, Ridge. Please. That please hit hard. Kara didn't beg. She was running from something bigger than both of us. We banked toward Nevada, her jet limping, mine shielding her. I saw it now. Her aircraft was sharper, lighter, a hybrid of tech I'd never seen. She wasn't just back. She was bringing something back from the dead. As we approached Groom Lake, Area 51 to the world. Command relented. Shadow Hawk cleared for escort. No visual records, no comms relays. This never happened. We landed on a cracked tarmac, black SUVs waiting, men in mirrored sunglasses standing rigid. Her cockpit hissed open, and there she was, Caravas, alive, exhausted, harder than I remembered, but still moving like a fighter pilot, deliberate, measured, never unsure. She handed me a black titanium drive, no bigger than a pen cap. "You're the only one I trust not to erase it," she said. The agents bristled, but she didn't care. She told them everything. 3 years ago, she wasn't shot down by enemies in Belarus. It was a U.S. drone, sent to silence her because she'd uncovered a rogue network selling classified weapons to foreign actors. She survived, went dark, faked her death, and salvaged a stolen prototype, a U.S.-built jet modified overseas. That drive held schematics, correspondence, audio feeds, proof of high-level treason. A network called Iron Hand was pulling strings, stockpiling experimental weapons for a false flag to destabilize NATO. She'd flown across continents, half dead, to deliver it. I stood by her in that debrief room, concrete walls, no windows, just the weight of truth pressing down. For 3 hours, she laid it bare. Retired generals as brokers, engineers paid to build vulnerabilities, a buyer codenamed Iron Hand orchestrating chaos. The room went silent when she finished. One agent left with the drive, and I knew then, Kara wasn't just a pilot. She was a reckoning. They separated us after that. I sat in a holding room, a concrete box with a flickering light, waiting for the fallout. I defied orders, lied to command, escorted a hostile into U.S. airspace. My career was on the line, but I didn't care. Kara was alive, and what she carried mattered more than any medal. A major walked in, her expression like stone. "You're part of this now," she said. "If this intel implicates who we think, you're not above it." I looked her in the eye. "Good. I want to be." Through one-way glass, I watched them try to break her. Kara sat, ragged but unyielding, as intelligence operatives fired questions. "You were confirmed KIA. How did you survive?" Her answer was steel. "I survived because I had to. Because if I didn't, that drive would never get here." She spoke of Iron Hand, a shadow using Pentagon codes, testing drones in conflict zones to spark global retaliation. Every word she said was a spark in a powder keg. And I knew, watching her, that she wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for the soul of our skies. The intel she brought unraveled everything. Secure channels lit up. Generals with no public profiles arrived in unmarked transports. Her drive exposed flight logs from secret test facilities, schematics of hybrid weapons, forged authorizations. Iron Hand wasn't one person. It was a network embedded in our own supply chains, selling our tech to enemies we weren't supposed to have. And Project Crownfire. It wasn't just a leak. It was a plan for mass deployment of autonomous drones built with stolen U.S. tech, enhanced with foreign AI, programmed to strike without oversight. They could hit any airspace, erase themselves on impact, and they were days from launch. Kara didn't stop at Groom Lake. She vanished again, this time on her terms, hunting the threads of Crownfire. I followed her trail, from Marrakesh alleys to Bucharest nightclubs, where she tracked an ex-Intel asset named Anton Fodor. She planted drones, set charges, and brought down a chemical plant tied to Crownfire's supply chain. Every move she made sent shockwaves. Servers crashed, accounts surfaced, names of generals and NATO advisors emerged. But the real target was Green Ridge, Colorado, a think tank masking a command hub for Crownfire's drones. In Colorado, under a fake identity, Kara faced General Miles Dacro, retired, White House clearance, the heart of Iron Hand. He called Green Ridge a decoy, said the real launch was mobile, unstoppable. But Kara didn't break. She escaped, using a trick I'd taught her, a micropulse lockpick, and stole a chip to scramble drone signals. We met again at Groom Lake, under a star, heavy sky, with a prototype jet and a mission to stop Crownfire's mobile launch before it sparked a global war. We flew low, fast, through mountainous terrain. Her at the controls, me on comms. Drones came, black as smoke, fast as death. She activated the chip, and for a moment they faltered, some crashing, others veering off. But one massive drone locked onto us, missiles streaking through the night. Kara danced through the sky, a deadly ballad of speed and instinct, while I deployed flares and targeted weak points. We found the launch convoy, trucks, missile platforms, command vehicles, and hit them with precision strikes. The desert burned behind us as we rendezvoused with extraction choppers, the chip and data drives under guard. Back at Groom Lake, General Grant said it best. "You did what no one thought possible." But Kara's reply cut deeper. Justice isn't a clean mission. It's the only one worth fighting. Weeks later, congressional hearings buried the truth in redactions, but we knew what we'd seen. Crownfire wasn't just a conspiracy, it was a betrayal of everything we swore to protect. Kara Voss, Shadow Hawk, became a legend again. Not just a warning, but a promise. Some wars are fought in silence, some heroes fly in the shadows. And me, I'd break protocol again in a heartbeat, because trust, real trust, is worth more than orders. It's what keeps us airborne when the skies turn dark. So to every pilot, every operative, every soul who's ever stared into the abyss, burn forward. Believe in the truth, even when it's a ghost. Because the skies belong to those who refuse to blink. Thank you.